closed mouths don't get fed. Why should you care what people think about it? Saying it and not planning the steps you're going to take to it isn't going to do anything. Learn to love being alone. You don't understand. I've seen too many people just get lost because they're chasing.
But I'll be on it always, always and better.
I recently turned the big 20. I recently turned 20 in March, and honestly, you know, people think, oh my god, you're young. Well, whilst that is correct, very young, you're probably thinking, what did I learn from ages of 0 to age of 20? But guys, I learned a lot, and I'm here to share it with you. So if you're a teenager in your teens, this is a video you actually need to watch, because everything I've learned from my teens, I'm gonna be telling you guys today. Let's get into it. I live by this, I breathe this. If you don't ask, you don't get. Closed mouths don't get fed. And a lot of the times I feel like when we're in our teens, we can be very shy, we don't know how to ask for things. But I'm telling you guys, a lot of the things I've achieved up until this day is very much because I ask and I say what I want, what I think I need, what I think I need help with. If you don't ask for things, you're not going to get things. The worst thing someone can actually say is no, but the best thing someone can actually say is yes, and that yes can change the whole trajectory of your life, your career, your goals, your dreams. Like, if you want to get in a certain place, you have to ask for things. You need to have audacity, and honestly, I think it's good to learn that from a younger age. So as you're in school, secondary school, have the audacity to believe you are made for certain rooms, you deserve to be in certain rooms, and ask to be in those rooms, ask to have those opportunities. Self-respect is everything. And the reason I say this is because I feel like when you're in secondary school, especially if you're someone who gets teased a lot, you know, it's very easy for people to disrespect you, but that's only if you allow yourself to be disrespected. So for example, when I was in secondary school, I had a group of friends who were not really my friends, and they were quite rude to me. And I remember there was a time where I sat on the table and they said something like, oh, the only reason she's here is because she has no one else. And at that moment, I decided to get up and I went and sat alone. And let me tell you guys, me being alone for like 3 months and purposely being friends with other people, these friends I had, ended up apologizing to me. And it's like, if I never had respect for myself, and I never left that group, and I never did my own thing and showed them, you know what, actually I can be alone, I don't need you, then I would have still been teased and been bullied in that same group. Self-respect is everything, even if it means you're going to be alone. Please remember that. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't deserve to be around a group of people who want to disrespect you. That is not okay. So respect yourself. And as hard, I know it's really difficult, especially when you're in secondary school. It is so hard because friendship groups are almost like how people are seen. If you have a lot of friends, you're cool. If you don't, you're weird. And it's like, trust me, being alone is better than having company that, if you don't like how people speak to you, you have every right to walk away. You have every right not to talk to people. If you don't learn that from a young age, you're gonna get older and take a lot of rubbish from people and think it's acceptable, and it's not, because those same people make you feel like you're weird if you're not accepting the disrespect that they're handing to you. It's like, no, I ain't gotta take that, mate. Not here, not around here. This is actually something I learned when I was in uni. Not everyone you have a vibe with has to be your friend or potential partner. One thing I noticed is we can have really good conversations with people. We can have chemistry with people. We can hit it off with people. You know, when you feel that vibe and that energy, and then you think, me and this person are going to be besties, we're going to be friends. And it's like, no, you don't know them as well as you think you do. Believe it or not, you can vibe and get on well and have really good conversations with a lot of people. But that does not mean they need to be your friend. Or if it's someone that you like, doesn't mean they have to be your partner. Because you'll learn about some people a lot deeper than just the conversations you have, and you start to realize, this is not someone I'd actually like to have as a friend. Maybe they don't communicate well. Maybe they get very irritated quickly. They're rude. And you don't really find out those things. Oh God, English. You don't really find those things out about a person until you're speaking to them on a deeper level, or you're with them for a lot longer, or you're in close proximity to them consistently. So it's like, sometimes keep people as acquaintances. Know your friends and know who can stay as your acquaintances. Not everyone has to be your friend. Consistency is key. Slow growth is better than no growth. A lot of the times I feel like people in this generation, people in our age range, everyone just wants to get to the top and wants to get there very fast. As you're being consistent with something over time, everything is going to grow. Whereas if you just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this one thing and I'm just going to leave it for a long time, it's not going to really work. So example is, for example, when I was doing my A-levels and my GCSEs, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was not the smartest person in the room. People think I'm smart, but I'm not actually that smart. I have to really learn things before I get them. So I remember during A-levels, I started off with C's and stuff, but then I just had to keep doing the work. And I'm telling you, a bit of work every day, next thing you know, I got an A by the end of it. So it's like, honestly, I don't even know how to describe that. Genuinely, just be consistent in whatever you do. Just remember that consistency is key. That's the point, is to be consistent and do a little bit every day. Don't burn yourself out by doing a lot of something and then just leaving it. Just be consistent and do a bit every day, and I'm telling you, you're gonna get where you want to be. If you live by people's opinions and perceptions of you, you'll be held back and you'll be miserable. So don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, a lot of the times, especially I'm putting an emphasis on secondary school, because I feel like secondary school and high school, whatever school, middle school, whatever you go to, it's literally, it has a, like, there's a lot of impact on perception and, you know, how people view you. And I'm telling you, you try your best to break out of it. Don't care. I mean, genuinely don't care. Don't act like you don't care. Genuinely don't care what people think of you, because at the end of the day, this is your life, your dreams, your goals. Why should you care what people think about you? And I'm telling you, the minute you stop caring about what people think of you, the minute you stop living by the expectations and perceptions of other people, you will be free. You will genuinely be free, because the only person who should care about you is you, if that makes sense. The only opinions you should take into account are the opinions of people you actually care about and the people you love, not random people who don't even know you. Like, what? Friendship does not work if you don't put the effort in. Friendship goes both ways. You can't expect to have a friend that's always giving and always doing things for you and you're not doing things for them as well. And I think that's one thing I learned, because I was like, wow, if I actually want my friendships to grow, I need to also put the effort in. I also need to, you know, say, oh, do you want to go here? Like, you have to initiate things with friends. And then depending on the energy you receive back, depends on whether you keep the person as a friend or not. If you want to grow friendships with people and they're people you love and you want to carry on that relationship with, you've got to put as much effort in as they are. Ask that friend if they want to go out. Ask them if they want to do something. Go to each other's houses. Have some fun. Have a vibe. Plan things together. Don't kind of expect that person to always reach out to you. Also reach out to the other person as well. Make sure when it's your friends have something that's important to them, you show up for them. I think in this day and age of like self-love, people also forget to, people know how to love themselves, but people forget how to show other people love, especially people that they care about, including friends and family. Showing up for them, and I think it's a very important skill to learn, because you've got to be there for other people just as much as people should also be there for you. This one I think is one I'm hella passionate about. The day you decenter the opposite gender, the day you'll be free. I'm sorry, but when I was in secondary school, too many girls were focused on guys, and it's like, focus on your books, not boyfriends. I don't want to be that person, but your mama is right when she's telling you, don't focus on boyfriends, focus on your books. Focus on your books, your friendships, your life. I feel like when people are in secondary school, when people have hit puberty, there's this feeling of, I need, especially I feel like in girls, I need external validation from a guy. Because people want to feel, you know, and I understand it to a certain extent, you know, people want to feel liked, people want to feel seen, people want to feel like they're attractive, and the only way to know that is if an opposite gender likes you, or a gender that you find attractive likes you. And it's like, don't. The only validation you need is your valid. You need to believe in yourself. You need to like yourself. Don't base the standard of you liking yourself based on how another person likes you, especially guys. Like, specifically, like, if you're a girl, you like guys. No, like, it doesn't, I'm so sorry, but a guy's opinion doesn't mean nothing, and it's not something you should rely on. It's not something that you should receive validation from. You don't need it. You are beautiful. You are everything. You was kind, you was beautiful, you was smart,
you was smart, you was kind, you is important.
You don't need a guy to me. And I'm not even trying to be rude, but like, what is a guy? Why do you need, get validation from your parents, from God, for yourself, and not from a guy? Sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen too many people just get lost because they're chasing male validation. Like, they're just chasing it, and it's like, bro, please stop. Stop, just please. Like, I don't even know how to say it in a nicer way. It's hard for some people, but I'm telling you, the day you stop receiving and relying on the validation of guys, the day you'll be free, because you're not going to do everything to please a guy. A lot of people, they'll come to school, and in their mind it's like, how can I look good for this person? How can I and look good for yourself. Do things for yourself, not for no man. Sorry, not sorry. Like, yeah, that one hits close to home. Learn to love being alone. Genuinely, if there's one thing I learned, is learn to love being alone. I feel like especially, I keep saying especially in secondary school, because really, especially in secondary school, I feel like there's this emphasis on groups and friendships, and it's like, if you don't have friends, you're a loner, you're a weirdo. And it's like, no, it's good to learn how to be alone. I'm telling you, it's the best thing you could do for yourself. If you learn how to enjoy your own comfort, your own peace, it will benefit you so much in the long run, because you will not feel the need to put up with the rubbish people around you for the sake of, oh, I don't want to be alone. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, do that. They put up with the wrong friends, the wrong people, they hang around the wrong crowds, all because they don't want to be alone, all because they don't want to be seen as being alone, because they perceive people who are alone as weird. And it's like, no, genuinely learn to love your own company, learn to be by yourself, learn to be in your own space by yourself, learn to go out by yourself, have solo dates. I'm telling you, the minute you do that, you will never ever need to feel like you need to be around people who are disrespectful to you, people who don't treat you well, all for the sake of not being alone. You'll never put up with any rubbish just because you don't want to be alone. That was probably one of the best things I did when I was in secondary school. It's just being okay with going to the library and studying alone. Health is wealth, and I'm telling you youngsters this because the sugar that we consume is too much. It's too much. Health is actually wealth. Take your health seriously, your mental health, your physical health, what you eat. You are what you eat. Make sure you're eating healthy. I'm not saying you can't have a little sweet treat here and there, but try and eat healthy. Drink a lot of water. God is the center of your life. When I prioritize God and I prioritize my relationship with God is when my life feels like it's on track. And I use the word feel because sometimes your life actually isn't on track, but you just have to, you push through it and you believe that, you know, this is God's plan, this is how things are going to work for me. Things that would usually make me break down just didn't make me break down, because I was like, that's God's plan. Like, you know what, there's nothing I can do about it. And I just feel like a lot of the things I have experienced in life where I am now is literally because I've tried my best, because I'm not perfect, tried my best to prioritize God in my life. But that is one thing that I personally found, which is something that I learned. A goal without action is a wish. If there was any advice I was going to give to a young person about achieving their dreams, is like, get used to actually working towards your dreams. Even if it doesn't work out, get used to working towards it. A goal is, okay, this is where I want to get to. Let's say, I don't know, my goal is to have this many followers on Instagram or make this many videos. Okay, cool. If this is where you want to get to, this is where you want to be, I want to get an internship, I want to make more friends, I don't know, whatever the goal is, then now it's like, okay, so what steps do I need to take to actually get to said goal? But just saying it and not planning the steps you're going to take to it isn't going to do anything. Believe in yourself. That's another point I had, so I'm going to merge these two together. Believe yourself and also have actions towards your goals, because if you don't have actions towards your goals, then it's just a wish. That's all it is. Always be proud of who you are and where you come from. And the reason I say this is because I feel like, for example, I'm a black African girl. When I was in primary school, secondary school growing up, let me tell you something. You see all this black love, African love, it wasn't existing when I was growing up. No. That, it just wasn't existing. This was not my life. I was made fun of, teased, bullied, genuinely just for being black and African. And what that sometimes can do, I've noticed when people come from a specific demographic, for example, like me, black and African, you tend to be at the bottom of the barrel in places like school. You tend to be the one to be made fun of. And I'm a dark skin girl. I ain't no light skin, mixed race baby. No, I'm a dark skin black girl in the UK who's also African. And it's like, that means I'm a target. I'm at the bottom of the barrel. And what that can sometimes do to you, it can make you feel like you don't like yourself, you don't love yourself, you also don't love where you come from and your heritage. And I really had to actually get out of that mindset when I was in secondary school, because I'm like, sorry, but who the flip are these people trying to make me feel like I shouldn't like myself? Like, sometimes when you really deep that these people are just weird humans, are miserable and just project their miserable lives onto other people, that's when you really just start to realize that, no, like, who actually are these people? Like, I'm very proud. I love myself. Like, I love my culture. I love who I am. I love my skin. I love everything about me. So why am I going to let other people tear that down? So this is to anybody, any teen who feels like that. Don't genuinely be proud of where you come from. Because look, isn't it now that African people are the ish now? Like, sorry, I don't want to say no curse words, but black people are the shit. Like, African people are the thing now. Everyone's trying to listen to Afrobeats. Like, and it's just like, imagine if I was to be that silly to not have liked myself. Like, just be proud of where you come from. Like, wear it on your sleeve, wear it on your chest. Let people make fun of you, but wear it on your sleeve. Do not ever let people make you feel like your heritage, your culture, your race is below. No. Even if people make you feel that way, never let what they're saying get to you in a sense where, and it's very, very difficult. I'm saying it's easier said than done, but it's very difficult not to do, especially when you go to predominantly like white schools as well. But genuinely wear that on your sleeve. Mean girls don't get anywhere. It doesn't have to be kind. Being a mean girl doesn't do anything for you. I feel like some people are a bit they just carry some things on their head, and it's just like, calm down. You don't need to be mean. Just be nice. Be nice to everybody. Don't just be nice to someone if you think they're attractive, or be nice to someone if you think they're pretty. Be nice to everybody. Unless someone gives you a reason to not be nice to them, be nice. It's okay. It doesn't cost you a penny. Right? Nothing is worthless in your life. You learn skills from everything you do in life, so use it. What I'm trying to say here is basically, I feel like a lot of the times, I remember being at secondary school and thinking, oh, why are they teaching me this thing? Like, oh, this is not even useful. Da, 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 da. One thing I started to learn over time was that you won't understand how every little thing you do and you learn actually impacts your life and will actually benefit you in another aspect of life. For example, this is a very like random example, but for example, English literature, I was like, why the hell are we analyzing words, analyzing this, analyzing that? I didn't like understand the point of it. I was like, this is rubbish. It was until that as I got older, you know, you read articles, you read text, you watch movies, and you see the language they use, and it's like, and it's like, as I'm watching movies and analysing what they're saying, I'm deep in. This goes back to English literature I was learning back in school. Me, that I thought I was useless. There's just a lot of things that you think is useless when you're younger, and it's when you get older you realize this is actually not as useless as I thought it was. Everything you learn, I'm telling you, genuinely will benefit you later in life, even if it's just something really, really small. But it will always benefit you. So don't see everything as worthless. That work experience that you did that maybe doesn't even link to what you want to do as a degree, it will help somewhere else. Because life, you have so many different experiences in life, and a lot of those experiences will require knowledge and understanding from different things. So trust me, everything is actually useful, you just don't know it yet. Hard work beats talent. Now, I actually got this from a YouTuber that I actually watch. I'm gonna put her video up there, but she said something and I 100% agreed with it. She said hard work beats talent, and that is so true. A lot of the times you'll think, you know what, like, these people in this room, they're cleverer than me, they're smarter than me, or people might always appear that way, but it's like, just because they seem smarter doesn't mean they're actually smarter. If you put in the work, you will beat that, if that makes sense. And I'll give you a real life example from myself. When I was doing my A-levels, I genuinely felt like I was not the smartest, and I didn't, if the teacher asked a question, I genuinely wouldn't know the answer to it. Yet somehow I managed to get one of the top grades in the school. Now, if I had assumed, okay, yeah, these people are all smart, and I just didn't bother even putting work in, I wouldn't be where I am today, which is in medical school. So it's like, because I was like, okay, yeah, I might not appear smart, but I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure I get to that stage where I get the grades that I want. And that's what I did. I just worked and I worked and I worked, and I didn't compare myself to anybody. I just put my head down, had tunnel vision. I was like, I'm just going to do what I need to do to get the grades. I would see teachers after school. I would talk to them. I'd ask them questions. Call me your nerd. Me not care. But I always made sure I did what I needed to do to get where I wanted to be. And I ended up getting the top grades higher than people who I assumed were smarter than me, which is why hard work beats talent, which makes to my last point about consistency. Genuinely, if you want something, just have tunnel vision. Like, this is what I want, and I need to do X, Y, Z to get there. And I'm gonna keep making sure that I work, reflect, see what I need to do, see what I need to change to get to the end goal. And I'm telling you, all the people that you thought were better than you, that were smarter than you, you will actually end up beating them, if that makes sense, because hard work beats talent. Put yourself out your comfort zone every chance you get. I'm telling you guys, I think the first time I put myself out my comfort zone was when I went to NCS with no one I knew. So NCS used to be a program in the UK. They don't do it anymore. But I went there with no friends. Like, I just went and I made friends. Like, and that's one thing I really liked that I did whilst when I was like in my teens, is I purposely started putting myself out my comfort zone. If it meant meeting new people, if it meant doing a new activity, like, I started not to get scared going to things alone, because I was like, I'll meet new friends, I'll meet new people. So always put yourself out your comfort zone. I feel like that trains your brain to sometimes do better and not just put yourself in this little box of what you just know. Sometimes you need to go out your comfort zone to learn more, to be better, to do better, to meet new people. You know, your network is your net worth. Guys, the people I have met that have helped me get to where I am today, I'm telling you, I was like, damn, if I didn't, and a lot of these people aren't even my friends, like, they're just people I happened to meet that I became friends with, and now I am where I am. Your network literally is your net worth. So meet new people, help each other. Genuinely, someone you meet might be the reason your career will change into something even better. Like, let me give you a few examples, right? I got into modeling, but the way I got into modeling was that a brand reached out to me on Instagram, on TikTok, cool. The brand reached out to me on TikTok. I became a model. From the modeling, I started working with a marketing, social media agency type thing, like being an actor for them. But that's because I met another model who works for those people. And I said, by the way, I heard you do marketing. Like, can I get in on that? She put me into contact with the people that work with her. Cool. From the modeling, I also became a creative director who ended up directing a short film. And again, so it's like, if I never got the modeling, I would have never be where I am now. If I didn't, communicate and work with the people who I knew on set, I would have never got where I am now. So it's like, it's those little things that help you get to where you're at. Sometimes I just be talking to people and I find a whole new thing about them. I'm like, oh, you know what? We could help each other in the future. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself out there. That's the best advice I can give you, because there's nothing that's better in life than having options. So put yourself out there, get into a bunch of different things, see where life takes you. But yeah, these are all the lessons I learned by 20. I hope you find this useful. So if you find it useful, please comment down below. And if you are 20 or you're over 20, which I know some of you are, so don't even not do what I'm about to say, comment down below what lessons you also feel like you've learned, and if you agree or disagree with any of the lessons I just mentioned. But that is it for now, and I'll see you guys in my next one.